this is the first for me, doing a live stream for a change. It's very disorientating for me, because the chat is on my phone, which is also playing a bit of the audio on quite a lag, so I'm going to get used to that at some point. But hopefully you can hear me, hopefully you can see me, and hopefully the game audio is not too loud compared to my audio. So yeah, here we are on Saxlingham live for a change. So just before I had a bit of a pre-recorded video intro, and it was this field, just drawing it up. I decided I had 2 fields of oat I had planted on a couple of episodes, and I have harvested them off camera before getting to where we are now. So today's episode, or this live stream, I have no idea how long we'll be here for. I'm aiming for at least an hour, possibly 2 hours. That's the aim. We'll see how it goes. We have plenty to do, so I certainly haven't got any issue on getting things to do on the episode. So I think on episode 10, which was on yesterday, if you've seen that one, the plan or the title was Corn Today, Harvest on the Live Stream, or something to that effect. The corn's not ready. The potatoes are. So we will be doing potato harvesting at some point. This is up here. So that's our nice potato field. So we're going to get that done. Now it's a fairly hefty sized field for the vehicle we've got, so I'm going to assume it's going to take quite some time. I'm very tempted to put it on Courseplay and see how long Courseplay tells me it's going to take. I suspect it's going to be the 2 to 4 hour mark is my estimate. We're not going to live stream the full potato field, so that's certainly a definitive, but we'll certainly get going on it. I have 2 canola fields, so we're going to have to get the canola done as well. And we're definitely going to get the canola done at some point on the field over the road there where the combine is. And I've got the other field at the bottom of the map, which is field 3, I think. 3 or 2. I'm not sure which one had the canola in, which one had the oat. But one of them needs doing as well. And the other combine is already at that field ready. So, all good stuff. Right. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the tractor and baler down to field 2/3 because I'm going to put that on Courseplay to go and pick the straw up. Let's have a look. We'll send it down to field 2. And we'll catch up with him a little bit later on. And because we know that the potato field is going to take some time, I'm going to get that set up now as well. So for those who have been checking in on the channel, on the videos, you'll be aware that this is where the cow barn is going to go at some point. So I've cut down quite a few more trees. So I think 4 piles of wood chips there. So 4 trees since the last episode I showed any tree cutting. So we're making a fair bit of wood chips out of this. We'll get this beast out and get this beast going. So we've got Northern Family Farms in the chat, Sloth Sport Gaming and Happy Life I can see chatting, so welcome. Obviously there's a few other people I can see have joined, but obviously not quite sure name wise because like I said, I'm watching the live chat on my phone. I don't know if it tells me who's in the stream, but if it does, apologies. If you start typing, I'm sure I will see that at some point. So whilst I like a bit of colour coordination, I've had to put the header as brown, so I knew this was the potato one, otherwise I'd get them mixed up. And I think that was the easiest option for me. Cut in there. Now, whilst this is the closest pack, I did go for the cheeky variant, so I'm hoping that goes at the appropriate speed. We'll see. Right, so Courseplay. We'll do a fairly hefty amount of headlands, I think. We'll take it down slightly in speed just in case it is a bit cheeky. I don't want to be too unrealistic. Then again, we'll see what the time says, and then I might change my mind on that one. Actually, I'm remarkably surprised that's only an hour and a half, or just over. So we actually might get that field done on this episode. Well, having said that, it's filling up quite fast, so we have to keep a close eye on that one. Right, let's get this sorted too. And yes, Sloth, the brown will happily mask the dirt, hopefully. Right, now the hard part's going to get the harvester the baler lined up with the harvest rows. I think it was 10.8 is the header. Let's see what that is not lined up very well at all, has it? There's 2 headlands on this field. That might be part of the reason. Nope, still hasn't lined up, so I think the baler is going to be a manual task later on, so we'll come back to that one. There's no point in setting that one away because we haven't got a trailer down here. So we'll get this up to the potato field ready. So happy life, I'm just reading your comment there about the field prices. I'm going to pull my map up in a minute and you'll see a bit of a difference. And I'll explain that as well. And you can tell I'm not focusing when I go off the beaten track because I'm looking before and not the road. Farmer King George, nice to see you here. Yeah, definitely a first time for me doing this. I did dabble with it in 22, but to no great success. Right, let's see if this works. Don't know where he's going. I'm guessing I didn't tell Courseplay to stop while unloading, because he's going back quite a fair bit. Oh, that's inconvenient. It now says it needs unloading even though I'm full. Well, it'll have to wait. That's okay, King George, you look away. That said, feel free to chat up anytime you want, it always helps. One of my greatest failings, I feel, at least from my own perspective, is I don't like talking to myself, and I feel very much this is talking to myself. So the more people interact on the chat, the better from my perspective, because it gives me shit to talk about, basically. Otherwise it's going to be very, very quiet stream. And yes, happy life, you shouldn't ever text and drive or be distracted on the roads. I certainly am a big advocate of that in real life because my job depends upon that as well. But for the game, I think I think Briscoe hasn't put any live police on the map, so I won't get caught, so I should be okay. And yeah, Sloth, I probably need some more workers as well. Maybe what I should have done, I should have maybe panned out to get a few extra people on the map, make this a bit of a multiplayer. Get a few farm hands helping out. Now, I'm not sure what people think about the weather damage that FS25 brings to the game. It's certainly an interesting feature, but I don't like how it's quite spotchy, where it is literally just a circular patch periodically on the field. I'm not entirely certain how realistic that would be. Right, so I think the key thing here is we can now wait until that combine says that it's full and needs emptying, rather than trying to do it on the fly, because it doesn't stop for us anyway. I might as well empty this to start with, so it's ready for the next load. So yeah, so once I empty this Happy Life, I will bring the map PD up. You are right that by default the farmland prices are quite pricey, and I have made some adjustments for that. And for any of you who follow Scroft, I've got a funny suspicion he has taken on board my suggestion and he has also modified his pricing. Right, that's that. So, map PDA. So I don't know what the values were prior to this, so you have to forgive me on that front. But if you have a look now, I've just realised my first ever. I was actually talking on mute there, so I don't think you actually heard me. I was just saying that, so my field price is 173,500, which is 31,000 per hectare. 311,000, 29,500 per hectare. So essentially I've adjusted my pricing to about 30,000 per hectare, whereas the base game default map is 60,000 per hectare. So I've halved the value of the farmland. Main reason, because in the UK, depending whereabouts in the country you are, you get anywhere between £17,000 per hectare up to £37,000 per hectare. So I have made this a little bit more realistic to actual life, as opposed to, I guess, 60,000 per hectare for the game was because I didn't want to make the game too easy. Would be the short part of it, but for me, I felt that this needed a bit more realism, and also they were quite expensive. So let's just border in a bit more in line. Oh, that was convenient. He's not flapping though, so we'll wait. Might as well get the harvester set up and we'll do the harvesting. I'm certainly not going to put everything on Courseplay, because that would be a bit pointless. You'd all be watching just Courseplay do everything. So, hello Gamer MB, welcome to the chat. Hope your weekend's treating you well. No sooner have we got to this, the other one needs unloading. Now at some point as well, I must try and get used to being a bit more in cab when doing things. I don't tend to do this that often. Two reasons. One, I don't think the mirrors are very realistic, so it's very hard to line up things with the mirrors. And the other side of things is it's then hard to line up things like this too. Ah, poop. I wasn't expecting him to drive away. Right, off you go. Appreciate that, Game MB. Yeah, it's certainly different. I'm not used to this kind of gameplay. I'm used to being able to record something so I can try and cut out and crop the mistakes away from view. Whereas this, you're going to see the very, very unfiltered version. So what's everyone doing for the weekend then, or what have you done so far? What have you got planned tomorrow? Yes, Happy Life, that is absolutely true. I will never know what's going to happen because I'm literally making it up as I go along. Right, let's get this harvesting underway. So Northern, you're going to try and do nothing. I feel like that's your normal, although I haven't said that recently. From all accounts, you've been quite busy, haven't you? Well, hopefully if you've been too busy to relax, Northern, you can utilise this weekend to do so. And, you know, for the next hour, maybe two, you can relax to watching this. No pressure on you to do much except just back and tap a few things potentially. And Happy, I don't know is the short answer. The hard thing with doing YouTube videos and how many you do, for me, a lot of it is, I mean, for Bevington, I enjoyed the map. I still enjoy the map. But for YouTube views, people get bored of watching the same kind of thing. And whilst technically this is the same as what I was doing on Bevington, but on a different map, it seems to get different interest. And the same will be said for the next map that I go to, that it will rekindle different bits of interest. So it is difficult. I'm certainly enjoying the map as it is. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface on it, even though we're kind of technically the 11th episode now. I would argue that around the 20-25 mark, episode-wise, is when things tend to taper off to the point where it feels like I'm just repeating myself and doing the same thing over and over. So I think about, I would say between 25 and 30 is going to be kind of potential upper limit. Now the caveat to that is, into what map do I go to next? I'm very much a very British map person, so it's what other maps are going to be out there that piques my interest for me to transfer to. At the minute, there isn't anything. Now the good thing is, if I have timed things suitably, the 20 to 30 episode mark will take us up to the year 1 season pass map release. So the Scottish map that Giant's going to release will be out by then. So I suspect that this series will pre-end when that map releases in November. I think that's probably the clearest way to try and pan things out. Northern, surely if the kids go back to school from Tuesday, that should lighten things up for yourselves. Be maybe more relaxing if the kids aren't around as much. Right, I can certainly tell that one-man farming is not ideal, so farming on your own is not the easiest of challenges. Okay, so happy that's a really difficult question to answer. I think for maps that I don't like, it's difficult. I am, like I said, I very much favour and aim to go with British styled maps. Things where the field shapes are like this, the curved, bendy, they're not square, rectangular. So it makes you try to do, I say, in this case quite badly, try to line up and follow the combines. Whereas the up and down straight fields, there's not quite the same interest for me on that one. It feels like very much the AI could do everything without you. So I think that's where I would say if it's a large and traditionally American-based style map, I tend to steer away from those more than I would steer towards them. As for a favourite map, that is really difficult. Now, I wasn't particularly keen on Calmston Bioxy, but when Scroft made his Bevington Farm edit, it kind of gave me a bit more of an interest, and I think that's again because he shrunk the field sizes quite massively in that corner of the map, and that again piqued my interest because of that. I'm liking this map. This is a really interesting one. I haven't given the newest Welsh map a great look yet, so again that could be another one that I try to explore at some point in the future. And there's another very new map, Garth Farm, which again a very, very small map, but might be one to worth consider. Yes, Sloth, Canadian maps really are quite big, and I did start a series on that. Arguably I didn't last too long on that series. In Northern's defence, that wasn't the map, that was because I think I bit off more than I could chew by trying to do a few different things. And for those who definitely won't know, Northern and I had like a multiplayer map going, and I was running a single player on the same map, and I felt like I was doing things twice over, which was difficult in its own right. But that's not to say that the map wasn't good quality, because it really was good quality, but it was big. Hello Benny boy, it's good to see you here too. Feel free to give Sloth some abuse while you're here. There's no moderators, so you know you can go full throttle there. So Northern, does that mean you're compensating for something because you like big maps? Yes, you should definitely make a mod on map. That would be a double thumbs up for me. And it would be a triple thumbs up if you made it more British styled. Don't ask me where I'm going to get a third thumb from. So I can tell that this 1.5 hour potato harvest is going to take a bit longer than that, because clearly the harvest has stopped again for unloading, and I'm currently combining the canola, and I'm now using the trailer for the canola as well. Not that I like realistic sized fields, I just like the UK sized fields. Fields that don't need to be a billionaire before you start the game. Right, I think I need to find my second trailer so I can get the canola and the potatoes unloaded. Well, if the roads are too small, a bit of creative license, make them a little bit wider. That's what giants are doing. Right, let's turn the stop while unloading. Let's do that. Make my life a little bit easier. So is there any particular reason why you don't really play farms anymore? Happy life? see, I can relate to that because I have a lot of commitment to stuff at work full time. That's the first commitment, which is never fun when you've got other things you'd like to do. I then try and do a couple of recordings a week, so like I say, putting 2 episodes a week of this out means I've got to put a fair bit of time in to do the filming, recording part before then doing the editing part. And then I'm also dabbling in mods, so I've got a couple of mods on ModHub, and I've got a couple of mods in the pipeline. That's again part of what this series is about. I'm going to focus a bit more on productions, and specifically about the productions that I'm developing. Hence why we're doing potatoes, hence why we're doing canola. They do have a reason behind them. And I might try and show a little bit of that off in the stream as well today. I've parked that tractor in a really bad place, but I hadn't really given that much thought. King George, if you're still here, how are you getting on with your channel? You're still streaming FS22, aren't you, at the minute? Are you planning to go to 25 anytime soon? Right, Sloth, I'm a bit confused on that message if that's directed towards me. Why have I changed my class colours to yellow? My class colours are green. It's class green still. So, I'm not sure what your screen's showing, but unless everyone else is getting yellow, but mine definitely green on my screen. Hello, Craig. Nice to see you here. And yes, Northern, I do think Sloth is potentially colourblind. He's got a huge 65-inch TV that doesn't have the correct colours. Just begs the question for other things that you watch if the colours are wrong. Oh, this is going to work badly, isn't it? Yeah, I think don't figure it out now, Sloth. But when you when we finish the stream and you go away, maybe look at your TV settings for the colour. I mean, potentially black and white might be a bit better for them. And that's a good point, Northern. It could be the actual HUD display that's yellow, not the class tractors, but who knows with Sloth. Oh, well, that's a different question. That's not the class tractors, that's yellow. Right, let's set this up to go to the silo. Let's set that come back to field 8, which clearly isn't in my owned list. Right, so in answer to your question then, Sloth, about the HUD being yellow, I like to rotate that around quite frequently. So almost every new series I put a different colour on the HUD. You sure? No, I'm sure you said tractors. Okay, fair enough. He did say just class colours yellow. But that's, it can be misinterpreted clearly. So the other thing as well when I was doing this, or setting this stream up, like I said, I have no idea how long I'm going to stream for, but we're almost an hour in, and I'll be honest, it's gone by quite quick so far. I had not realised this is coming up to the 1 hour mark. So I definitely think from my perspective we can do 2 hours quite potentially. I still got people watching, which is a bonus, so it's not like I'm talking to myself completely yet. I think when the channel goes down to 0 views, that's maybe where I decide definitely time to quit. Yes, I would second that, Northern. I think we need to create a new daily abuse counter for Sloth in the server. Probably best that we don't set an upper limit though. And I can't even say that would down to be my British charm, because Northern is Canadian. So it's both British and Canadian charm that I'm using here. Right, I wonder if that I don't think my tractor trailer's come back to the field yet. No, it is true. Canadians have got that reputation of being too nice. Right, we'll get this road done and I'll check to see where the tractor and trailer's got to. Now the other downside to doing a live stream is that I've got a very empty coffee pot next to me now. So I might need to go and top that up shortly. The only thing that's brown is the potato header in this this stream sloth. You might want to get your sense of smell tested then. Hour and 20 minutes for the potato harvest, so whilst we've been streaming for an hour, we haven't really done much of the potato harvest. That's the light thing out quite nice and well naturally, so, you know. Hello Murray, welcome to the chat. What do we mean by is this your job? Streaming and YouTube's not my job. This is certainly a hobby, if that's where we're going with that question. If picking on people is my job, again, questionable, but I would certainly take a job like that. You can tell Sloth's the regular streamer, and I'm not. Yes, I fully support and endorse that. Yes, hit that like. Like I said, keep chatting, keep sending messages. All those good things that will help benefit the channel. Yeah, I'm really guilty of not promoting myself in the best possible way. Like I said, it is just a hobby. It's something I enjoy doing within reason. The recording side, absolutely. I like the editing part. I like the actual the recording part. But it's not easy doing a live stream. That might come with more experience, I guess. How on earth did you know you'd like it before you even started the stream, Northern? But thank you, because I did notice that one like before I started. Right, so we're going to get this field done. Once I've got the field finished, I think we'll head across to a couple of production points, and I'll show you what I've been working on. Yeah, it'd be a good opportunity for any thoughts and feedback you as viewers have as to what you want to see or what you want developed. Yes, I'm guilty of that too. There are times where I am not talking and I get that. And the downside of live streaming is when I'm not talking, I can't just do a time lapse and put some music on. There are definitely things that you can't do during a live stream. Although arguably, if I'd had the right preparation, I maybe could have put a few audio tracks into the stream source, so I could have potentially done that. But not this time. It hasn't been done. A live stream of farm build. Okay. Again, that won't be today's episode. Oh dear, what's Rob losing? Oh, but Rob, you built a map. If you can build a map, you can build a farm build. Yes, Sloth, you're more guilty of actually spending more time doing everything but play the game. It might be a real place, but it's not to build it. So, just before we get to the mod side of things, what's people's thoughts on the Year 1 Season Pass, or specifically the map that's coming with that? I'll be honest, with the 3 DLC drops before the map. Whilst we've only got 2 of them so far, I'm not particularly keen on those 2. They're based on, for me, large vehicles, large farms, and that's not what my playstyle is like. So I don't really use the next pack a great deal, and I have no need for the things like the Big Bud. And yeah, happy if you got the time on a Sunday. I would certainly get back into it if that's something you want to do. Especially if you're watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I appreciate all your support in watching my channel and my videos. I tend to watch a lot of YouTube videos while I'm playing the game. So I've got a dual monitor setup, so I can watch one YouTube video while I'm playing on the other monitor. That tends to be a good way of doing things, I find. Well, Sim Farmer, you've joined us. Fantastic. Nice to see you. I caught your episode 1 on Saxlingham the other day. Still waiting for episode 2 to come out, mind. Oh dear, there we go. I am too busy focused on the chat that I'm crashing into vehicles. If this was real life, I'd have written up a lot of farm equipment by now. The bonus is, well, I don't have an apprentice off my shoulder, so I don't have anyone to critique me. Yes, I maybe should get a crash cart and put onto the stream, shouldn't I? But I'll be honest, I don't know how I'd have to manually update it, wouldn't I? Yeah, I haven't got the skill set for that yet. That's certainly a skill issue, as certain esteemed friends would say. Right, let's put that there with the pipe out. Let's go and unload the potato harvester. Cheers, Rob. Yes, my normal driving, is it? Okay. It's pretty not incorrect, to be fair, but still. A much better drive in real life. At much faster speeds too. So Quan Ralston, if you're still around, what's your plan with Saxlingham? When's the next episode coming out? If you don't mind sharing that. I mean, Rob, it might depend. I spend a lot of time, I get distracted quite easily. Like I said, I've got 2 monitors, a phone screen. In fact, if it wasn't for the YouTube chat on my phone, I was going to use Sim Dashboard, but that's going to have to be a sacrifice for this stream. Yeah, I get distracted quite easily, so that doesn't really help with my driving skill, or lack thereof in this case. Oh yes, you're doing a series on Garth Farm, aren't you? I'm not going to lie, I haven't really watched that one. I think partly because I haven't really looked at Garth Farm in any level of detail after I did a bit of a quick back to a mod review of it. It might be a map that I move on to at some stage. I have realised what mistake I've made because I actually need a full trailer of canola. Right, so we've got about 30,000 litres off that field. In fact, tell because I put on the yield tracker. Now what I didn't do is figure out what field I was on. Okay. Right, so yeah, so 30,500 litres we got off that that field. Fantastic. That will come in very, very handy. So yeah, so we're gonna head down to where Briscoe's put a few plots of land for production points, and I'm going to give you a bit of a preview on what we're doing. Arguably I could do with a trailer full of potatoes as well at some point. Oh well, I'll look forward to next weekend when that comes out. Yeah, it is difficult sometimes trying to play catch up when you have life getting in the way of things, where you can't always spend the time doing what you want to do. So for productions then, so I'm currently working on this one, and there's a lot to do with this, as it's very much in a very, very early stage of development. And the whole idea is that this production will produce diesel, is one of its outputs, but also it's basically an oil factory. So it does all your regular oils. So it does canola oil, olive oil, rice oil, sunflower oil. The rice oil is set so whether you do long grain rice or regular rice, it will. You can just put that in there and it'll convert. I can't remember which one it converts. I don't know if it converts long grain rice to rice or if it converts rice to long grain rice. Either way, it goes in and you get rice oil out anyway. It will produce ethanol, which you need sugar to produce, and that's what gets that, and that will ferment the oil into diesel, which is where you get that, and you get a bit of methane as a byproduct too. So working on that, and then we have a blended oil, which essentially is a mix of oils, which creates that one. And that's a byproduct of producing the oil in this particular production, but equally, because we've got a pallet of oil there, if I put that back into the production, it would come out as blended oil. and you get an upscaled ratio of that too. So that's this mod. Like I said, the idea behind it was you get oil out of it, you also get some diesel out of it. So there's not many productions that give you diesel. And I thought that was something a bit different from my perspective. Next mod that we're working on, actually no, next mod that we already have, which we're working on the series for. So the whole reason we're doing the potato harvest, and Northern Family Farms, you are the reason behind this mod, aren't you? So we're gonna we'll showcase this one off. I'm not gonna put all the options down because we haven't got the finances for that anyway, and I need to save this game at the end of the live stream, so I can't do too much about that. And apologies if you can hear my mouse clicking. I have the loudest mouse clicker on the planet. So where are we at? There we are. So the base game comes with a potato processing plant, and Rob, because he wanted his own map, wanted a production for his map, so we produced a Canadian version, which is basically Family Farms potato plant, and it produces Canadian-based potato crisps. And we have the British version, so a slightly smaller footprint for smaller UK-based maps, which is this one here. We are going to put this one down because I will need it, and I need to work out where to put it so I can put my auto drive route in. So I think we're going to go with about here. There we go. Right, so that shouldn't have leveled the land negatively for us. So yeah, so this is the UK-based one. The chat's going off like the clappers now, and I have to catch up. Yes, Sloth, we can catch up afterwards. And yeah, whilst I've seen Martin that's working on his next map, and he's working at quite a high pace on that one, which is fantastic. And oil, I'll be honest, happy I haven't actually looked at the oil as to what it's good for in terms of money. I'm sure there's a lot of productions that do make a lot of good money, so that's fantastic. There's a means to do that, and that's why I wanted to use the productions here. And Farmer Sim, welcome. Very nice to see you. Hopefully you're having a good weekend, sir, and you're not getting up to too much mischief. So yes, so Rob, this is your production here, and if we just take on board that there's a UK and Canadian variant, and differences being that in that corner it would be a Canadian flag, not a UK flag, and then instead of be crisps, it was chips. They're the kind of the variants there. But again, instead of just regular chips, we have different flavours. That was that there. And you can use potatoes or you can use corn to produce them. So yes, that's one of the mods that's currently on Mod Hub, so if you haven't seen it, please feel free to go out and download it and give it a good rating. That'd be much obliged, much appreciated on that one. Oh, I don't know, there's a few other people in here that are very good at mischief, so you're in good company if you do cause any. But yes, working on a video, I can emphasize with that one, hence why I'm trying to do a live stream for a change. But this is very, very new to me, and I'm very, very out of my depths a little bit on this one. We'll get there. So yeah, so that's what this series is going to work on, is producing some potato chips. I don't think my mod allows you to buy the actual pallets outright. No, it does not, which is fine, it's not meant to. So yeah, you get basically pallets of crisps. Yes, Mr. Farmer Sim, I am based up in just south of Newcastle, just north of Durham, so a bit smack bang in the middle. That's where I'm based around. So my accent, by all accounts, is not a strong Geordie accent, but it's not. You can still tell that I'm from the area. I think is the best way of putting it. So the other thing with the potato chips, you also get 2 little smaller production points, which are here. In fact, actually, if I put one of these down, I can actually show you what the pallets look like, and I'll get rid of this at the end of the episode, because I won't need it. We'll still face it the right way though. So yes, basically you get pallets of crisps or chips, whichever production you go for. And they retail for quite some value, which is always a bonus. So again, happy life if you like production points that give you money. These ones are worthwhile doing as well. Now, the other one that I'm working on at the minute, and this is going to be several months away yet. I've got a lot of plans for this one, I hope to. And I think I should be able to pull it up. I'm hoping I've enabled it because, like I said, I've got a test folder for mods. There we go. So the Farmer's Brew, that's the current one that I'm working on, and I think Welsh, I hinted on this on one of your live streams. This was the mod that I was hinting on that one. Yes, at the minute, Welsh, these are all my mods currently. So the ones I'm showing off are mine. So this one's a tea production mod. I know there's some other mods out there that do green tea. This is the regular British tea. So if any of you who are watching here who are not UK based, we like a good cut tea over here, like a nice brew. So it's going to be a greenhouse mod, and that's only because with mods you can't create harvestable crops, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice if FS25 had produced the option to add in crops through modding, as opposed to having just add them on maps. So it's a greenhouse mod that gives you the saplings, which then gives you the tea leaves. And then once you get the pallet of tea leaves, it then gets converted into basically tea bags. And that's where it's developing so far. There's more to it. Now the downside is my long-term plan with that is just one more thing I'd like to add to that mod, and I don't know how to do it yet. And I don't know if it's going to be crossplay compatible, and that's the other hard part. I want to make all the mods that I'm developing crossplay, and I've got a funny feeling it's going to limit this to be PC only, which I'd like to avoid if I can. But instead of like on your vehicle here, where you've got a fuel tank and a maintenance bar, I want the tea to be like a bar that every time you have a cup of tea, tops it up, and the longer you play the game, the more that tea bar drops down, where you need to then have another brew to get a few more bits of energy. That's my theory anyway on that one. So let me know what you think about that. And yeah, just trying to catch up with the chat there. So and I'm going to dispute you there, Northern Family, and Farmer Sim, if you're still here, you can dispute this as well, because if you're from this area, you're Northern too. Up here, tea time is your afternoon or your evening meal, so we absolutely do eat tea as well as we drink tea. They are two very different things with the same name. Right, I've got some potatoes to get rid of from the field. That 1.5 hour harvest is going to take a lot longer. Oh, Welsh, are you talking about the adding crops to your map again? Again, I think that's a skill issue for the Welsh. And yes, Northern, I absolutely do think that the having a brew icon on your dashboard or on your HUD is going to be a script mod, which is going to prove quite difficult. Which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, that's I'd like to try and find a way to make that work. Yes, I have that argument on a regular basis with the locals, let alone the international locals. Tea is absolutely a drink and a food all in one. Right, who parked that combine there? That's a really bad place to park a combine. Hi Oliver, very nice to see you in the chat. SB Farmer, welcome as well. And Oliver, obviously say hello to the family too if they're sitting there with you. Arguably, you should all have 3 different devices watching this at the same time just to get those views up. But I won't critique you too much on that one. Ah, see, now I've blocked the tractor with another tractor. Auto drive is great when it works. See, Farmer Sim, you're a master of these cinematics, and I can't even keep up with auto drive when I'm not doing cinematics, let alone anything else. Right, we're going to cheat and just go up this road here, which there's no auto drive route up here yet. There we are. I'm just going to clarify for the chat, right, when Oliver said the love mum, Oliver's mum is not my mum. We're not related in any shape or form. Yes, well, there's been quite a few skill issues. This is why I don't do live streams. You get to see all my skill issues. I don't get to hide them behind a cutscene or a time lapse. Right, so this potato harvest was going to take 1 hour and 42 minutes, and we're now 1.5 hours into this stream. I guarantee that we've been, or I say I've been waffling on so much and not being emptying my trailers that will still have ample time left to finish. Happy Life, I absolutely do not have a license to drive this tractor, unfortunately, it seems. Yes, I agree there, Palmerston. I do genuinely think that because when you're doing a live stream, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong, is the adage, isn't it? But I'm hoping, outside of my skills and abilities, everything else is working not too badly so far. Are we still on the headlands on this? This can't be right. We can't still be doing the headlands on this field. Oh, we are. Dear Lord. This was an hour and 42-minute harvest, and we've still got an hour left, and we've been an hour and a half into it. Dear. Well, not entirely certain we're going to get this field finished before we end the stream. Perfect, happy. Yeah, and let's not tell Briscoe to get any police on the map. We don't want to put anyone in who can catch me out. It's not going to work. Okay. So while I have got people, I guess it's a bit late in the game, in the day asking this question. I know Sloth, you did at the very beginning, did say this. What is the audio like in terms of, is the game audio and my voice audio even, level? Is one too loud compared to the other? I mean, I'd rather have my voice being louder than the game volume, not the other way around, but how we're doing on that front, because I know that when I'm doing recordings, I do need to edit my audio in the editing suite. Perfect, that sounds good, that works for me then. At least I've done something right then to get the audio right first time round, because that was my biggest worry, I think, was I was going to get that messed up. Yes, Northern, I will absolutely try and put a crash counter or some kind of bump counter onto the next live stream I do. If anyone's got the skills on how to do that automatically, so I don't have to keep clicking a button or something to tally that up, again, let me know. Maybe I need to set one of these as a moderator so you can increase it automatically. I'm assuming Sloth I could set a keyboard bind for that though, just like my mute and unmute button. I could then have a button that I just tap every time I hit a item. I mean, you say that Northern, you say that I might be more careful, but I've got a funny feeling I probably won't be. It's literally this it's texting and driving is my issue. Yeah, because I'm watching my phone for the YouTube chat, so I'm blaming all of you. You're the reason I'm driving badly. Right, well, Sloth, if you know how to add a crash counter to the live stream, I think at some point then you can help me set that up for the future. Which tractor is that, Welsh? Is that the class tractors, or is this the New Holland? Oh, I didn't start this one off, did I? I showed you the mod, but I didn't actually turn it on. Right, canola. We need that going. Did I not? Yes, I did bring canola down. I thought I didn't bring canola there. Yeah, but as you like to keep reminding us, Northern, you live in an area where your roads are bigger and wider, so you've got a lot more space to avoid hitting things. Yeah, well, I don't mind New Holland. Class and Case are my two favourite makes, if I'm brutally honest. They're the two that I would default to. But I don't mind a New Holland. It's also a good job I've got traffic turned off, because I spend more time on the right hand side of the road at the minute. That doesn't sound very good, Craig. Hopefully get that all resolved quite quickly and safely. Ah yes, actually to be fair, Fence also another brand that I do like too. I think if I'm honest, and for those who do know me, the only brand that I don't like is John Deere. Oliver, you're gonna have to try and explain that one a bit more. What's up dippy and down dippy? I mean, I'm scared to really ask that question, I'm brutally honest. Yeah, okay, I'll live with that. That went a lot better than I thought it was going to go, but yes, I live in a very hilly area. Yes, a lot of uphills, a lot of downhills. Yes, unlike Norfolk and more southern parts of the country, you probably don't get very good MPG up here with all the hills that we have. And the town that I live in, we have been known to get snow in June. That's how high up we are up here. Now, can someone correct me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm right even, is there a mod that allows you to adjust your internal mirrors here? Because that's the biggest reason I don't do in-cab driving, is because the mirrors just don't seem to be angled where you'd want them to be. Not perfectly, at least. Right, now I should have really set the other combine away on the canola field while we were doing this. Right, well, so I'm going to have a look that mod up then when I finish this stream. Again, fairly certain as well. Did Giant say they're going to be releasing like an in-cab reverse camera or something on some of their upcoming DLC? Am I right in thinking that? And if there isn't a mod for everything sloth, we can certainly try and create one. Did I miss some chat there about manual attach somewhere? Yeah, Northern, I remember that we tried looking at manual attach, didn't we, when FS25 first came out. I think we were looking to see what kind of things could be quickly migrated over, partially in advance of the other modders, the actual modders who create the mod, for more private edits, but yeah, we couldn't get the sound to work on manual attach. It was the biggest issue. If that's the case, Welsh, yeah, I mean, I could have been making that up about the reverse camera. I didn't think I had seen something like that, but it might have also been wishful thinking as opposed to anything else. Yeah, the mirrors here are just definitely not adequate for what I would like. So yeah, after this stream, I'm definitely going to hunt out that mod so I can adjust those mirrors. I mean, don't get us wrong, I haven't got traffic enabled on the map, but it would still be nice to have the mirrors that are functional. Okay, no, that's, yeah, so I was kind of right then. I was thinking there had been some kind of mention. And then with any luck, that also means that they can potentially get added to modded vehicles at some stage. The hard thing with DLC is it tends to get locked behind the paywall. Not everything gets made accessible to modders, which is a bit of it's understandable, but also a bit of a shame. Right, well, leave you there. Well, get started on the building, I think. Oh, does this not like, what does like mirrors? Okay. It's not going to work though, is it? It's not going to line up with the swaths. We'll see how we get on. See how it matches up so far. I mean, strictly speaking, Sarah, all of us still is little. Maybe a tall littler. Yes, but no, then the next game's going to be what, 2, maybe 3 years away yet. I mean, definitely 2 years away if it goes the same way the FS22 did. happy. The hard thing with recommending mods for starting out is I think everyone likes to play in a different way, and it's hard to ascertain what works for me might not work for others. What I would say for me, I'm a big fan of things that are good for quality of life as opposed to realistic. So whilst I'm not entirely unrealistic in what I do, although I think some people here would argue differently, this ultimately is a game. So I would like to make sure that the game is enjoyable. So you'll notice that when I'm running, I don't run at normal run speed. I've got the faster run speed on, which clearly in real life I couldn't physically do that, but it just makes things a bit easier. I have easy dev. I think easy dev here on PC is an absolute must. It makes things a whole lot easier for a variety of different reasons. I'm trying to think which other mods would be a kind of a go-to thing. I mean, naturally, all the mods that I'm creating, I obviously have on my own game saves, so I'd be a fool not to do that. Otherwise, I think it's usually the TARDIS mod. I tend to have that on pretty much every game save. I like the trailers and the fact that they have got an element of unrealistic capacity for that. In fact, there's a lot of Armor mods that I enjoy utilising. They do make the game quite playable. Cookie Monster has the Fenceless Pastures mod. Absolutely is a must. I can't. What was the FS22 equivalent of that? It was the expandable pastures, wasn't it? Where you could make the pasture as big as you wanted. In that respect. Now, whilst Cookie's mod is fantastic in its own right, I haven't tried using 2 animal pens on a field, so having, say, cows and sheep together. Not sure why one of your messages is retracted there, Oliver. I'm assuming you typed something and made a mistake, but that message that's retracted? Was that the one where you said he was almost 6 foot tall? Because 6 foot and 5'5" slightly different. Sloth, yes. So the expandable pastures, I think, was the one where you had the blue panels that you put down and you wrapped around the field edges to make it a larger pen. But because you could allocate them to different pens, you could basically put a patch down for cows, a patch down for sheep, for instance, and they basically share the same field. Now, what I haven't tried doing yet is putting in one of Cookie's versions where you have, say, a cow pasture that maps out, say, this entire field, but then have, say, a sheep filling the other half of it. Because I don't know about everyone else, but in my area of where I live, there are quite a few farms who put mixed animals in fields. So it'd be nice to do that in game too. But yeah, I think happy just to finalise on that. It's just a case of, I think, whatever mods you feel makes the game enjoyable for you, I think they're the kind of things where you'll start working out what you like, and then they kind of become your go-to standard. Like, you'll drop into everything. I normally put a class tractor in every game save. Again, I've customised it with logos, so that's part of the reason why I put that into every single game save. It's got my logos on the side of it. I've got some other tools and equipment that have been logoed up, so again, they're my go-to standard to put onto every game save for the same reason. But that's just because, again, they've been branded. And yeah, I think after this this stream, Welsh, I'm going to certainly try and put 2 annual pastures into one field and see if it actually does work how I would like it to work. If not, I might reach out to Cookie and suggest, is that a viable option? It might not be. I do understand how the pastures and the barn kind of mods work with the nav meshes, so it's something that might not be functional, but if there's no overlay restrictions, it might well be. No problem, Welsh. I appreciate you coming and taking part for a little bit, so you enjoy your evening. I look forward to watching a few more your videos when they drop. I mean, we are getting to the 2-hour mark, so I think I am going to be almost calling it myself shortly anyway. But again, this 2 hours, it has flown by. I don't feel like we've done badly, but I also don't think we've done a great deal either in terms of what's to do. There's a lot on this map. It's quite a big map realistically, so there's a lot of things to be done. But no, like I say, Welsh, thank you very much for coming along. Look after yourself. So Oliver, while you're here, since it wasn't, we've kind of caught up, so this is supposed to you and to your mum. You start school again next week, don't you? You'll be back at school. Are you looking forward to that? Yes, you do, Rob. So what are you going to do? What's your next plan if you do start getting back into it again? I mean, Oliver, I'm sure there'll be other people in the chat here who can confirm this. Depends how kind they want to be or not. But your school life are probably the best years of your life, so whilst you might not be looking forward to going back, when you finish school, you at some stage will look back and go, I wish I was back there. So honestly, mate, make the most of it while you're at school, because they will be some of the best years of your life. Not the only best years, but they will be some of your best years. So don't wish your life away. Don't wish you were outside of school, because you will miss it. Appreciate that, Craig. Likewise to yourself and your family? And Christopher, I think I can echo that too, that there are certain things I would do a bit differently now on reflection. Hindsight is a great thing, but unfortunately we have to just live with the decisions we've made. I think there were a few missed opportunities I had at school that I didn't take on board that I could have or should have done. I was a very shy and not very confident person at school. I think if I could go back with my current knowledge, that would be different. I would change that. If I just went back in time and didn't retain the knowledge I've got today, I don't think things would change. I think I would end up doing the same thing again. And that's okay. I didn't know then the things I know now. But the confidence and skills that I've got from that over life is something that's developed into adulthood. It didn't develop in my childhood adequately to overcome that. We'll skip what Northern said. We'll move swiftly on to a different topic on that regard. So Oliver, ignore what he said. Don't listen to that. It also explains a lot, I'll be brutally honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm really quite happy with how my life's panned out. I wouldn't have got regrets in my life in that respect. I think it's just those things where you look back and you go, if I'd done that differently, then yeah, you're right, things maybe either would have been easier or just different in terms of how things have panned out, but I certainly wouldn't say I regret anything. No comment, Rob, no comment. Right, so I think we're coming up to the 2-hour mark. It's 9:30 in the evening here. I mean, honestly, this has gone by so fast, and there's still, given how many people have been watching the stream live, we're still averaging the same numbers throughout, which is really, really positive. But I do think, I mean, I could play this all night. I could be here till midnight, and quite content doing what I'm doing. But I think we're going to call it a night, I think, on the live stream, if that's okay with all of you. But yeah, so Farmer Sim, really do appreciate you joining the stream. It's a pleasure seeing you here, and I look forward to your next stream, as well as your videos that you're putting out there. Hope you managed to get that video edited that you were working on. But yeah, cheers for coming along, mate. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think it's unlike Rob, who is over in Canada, where it's quite early in the day for him. For us in the UK, it's I think time we call it a night and enjoy the rest of our evenings. So no, thank you very much for coming along. Thank you very much for supporting this. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. I'm unfortunately very guilty in the fact that the way my phone's set up, I can't see how many likes the video has already got. But if you can, that'd be fantastic. And I do intend to do this again. So hopefully I'll get to see some of you in a future episode, in a future livestream episode. But yeah, I think this is where we say goodbye. And this is where you see my lack of skills in terms of I don't know how we properly end this, because I've never ended a live stream before. So I'm literally going to hit the stop button. So yeah, thank you very much. Take care now.